Everyone thinks power dies with the powerful, but Japan's deadliest widow proved that death is just the beginning. If that sounds impossible, you haven't met Japan's deadliest widow, otherwise known as the Nun Shogun. Towards the end of this video, I'll tell you why she was ruthless to the point of sacrificing the lives of her sons. This episode picks up from our first on how the samurai rose to power, so watch that first to understand what Yoritomo's widow inherited. In this video, we will explore the most brilliant political move in samurai history. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into Japanese power and strategy. So let's dive in. January 13th, 1199. The most powerful man in Japan falls from his horse and dies. Minamoto no Yoritomo, the man who conquered Japan and established the first shogunate, is dead. Everyone expects his empire to crumble, but there's one person no one is watching, and that is his wife. Meet Hōjō Masako. History would call her the Nun Shogun. At 37, she's the mother of 2 sons and the widow of Japan's most feared warrior, the first shogun, Minamoto no Yoritomo. Everyone sees a grieving woman in mourning clothes, but Masako sees the opportunity of a lifetime. Here's the context. When Yoritomo died, the samurai government he'd built was still fragile. It was only 8 years old. The imperial court in Kyoto was waiting for any sign of weakness to reclaim power. And when her husband died, her 18-year-old son Yori automatically became the second shogun. Here's where most mothers would step back and let their son rule. But here's the unthinkable part. Masako steps forward and begins systematically destroying her eldest child. Why would a mother sabotage her own son? Because Masako understands something everyone else misses. And that is real power doesn't come from sitting on thrones. It comes from controlling the person who does. And when Yori tries to assert independence and make his own decisions, Masako and her father moved fast. In 1203, they forced him to abdicate and exiled him to Izu province.
How could you do this to me, your own blood? This is not justice, it's a betrayal!
Within a year, Yori is dead, officially from illness. But everyone whispers about poison. Masako shows no grief. She immediately installs her 12-year-old son, Sanetomo, as the third shogun. Now here's the crazy part. A child ruler needs a regent, right? Well, let's review a bit. A regent is a person who governs a country on behalf of a monarch who is unable to rule due to being too young, absent, or incapacitated because of illness or some other reasons. So back to our story. The 12-year-old shogun needs a regent. Masako's father by the name of Hōjō Tokimasa volunteered.
You must understand the weight of this decision. Our future depends on it.
But this is really Masako's master plan unfolding. And here's her genius. She's not just eliminating threats. She's reverse engineering the entire concept of leadership. And instead of fighting for the shogun title herself, which would trigger massive resistance, by the way, she was creating a new kind of power structure. The Hōjō family becomes the power behind the throne, controlling everything while taking responsibility for nothing.
This is the best day of our lives.
When Sanetomo finally starts thinking for himself in 1219, where he asserted real authority, he was assassinated by his own nephew, Yori's son.
I don't deserve this suffering.
With both sons dead, Masako has achieved something monstrous. She's eliminated the entire Minamoto bloodline, including her own children, to clear the path for total Hōjō control. But here's where her strategy becomes truly brilliant. Instead of making herself shogun, she imports powerless nobles from Kyoto to wear the title, beautiful puppets with no armies, no authority, no independent power base. With that, she creates triple deception. Emperors reign in Kyoto, puppet shoguns rule in name, and Hōjō control everything in reality. When Emperor Go-Toba tries to overthrow the shogunate in 1221, it's Masako who rallies the troops with her legendary speech.
Are you not the descendants of men who fought beside my late husband? Your loyalty should be to his memory and his cause.
The rebellion led by the emperor failed completely. 3 emperors were then exiled, and these all orchestrated by a woman whose only official title is widow. Masako died in 1225, but her system survived for another century. The Hōjō ruled Japan until 1333, 108 years of shadow government built on one woman's willingness to sacrifice everything, including her own children, for power. The lesson? The most dangerous person in any room is often the one everyone ignores. While men fought for titles, Masako built systems. She didn't just survive her husband's death. She used it to create something more powerful than anything he ever achieved. And here's what I want you to think about. Was Masako a monster who killed her own children, or a brilliant strategist who understood that personal sacrifice was necessary for long-term stability? The Hōjō system she created did bring Japan over a century of relative peace, but at what cost? But here's the thing about shadow governments. They work until they don't. And in our next episode, we'll explore how the Ashikaga shogunate tried to copy the Hōjō system but made one fatal mistake that plunged Japan into 150 years of civil war. I am talking about the Sengoku period, when Japan tore itself apart because the Ashikaga forgot Masako's most important lesson about power. And that, my friend, is the story of Japan's deadliest widow, a woman who built an empire on her children's graves and changed the nature of Japanese power forever. That's it for now. See you in the next one. Stay curious.